What do you think about this unprecedented movement where dudes not only are going to transfer multiple times, but also transferring for how much can I get? Not for playing time, but how much money can you spend on me to come to school to play for you?
Yo, this is wild, man. And I think that what we've got is a result of you treat the players bad for such a long time and you treat them unfairly that it all, like, the dam burst all at one time and nobody planned for it. Like, this all just feels kind of haphazard and it's kind of sorting out, where we're ultimately going to go. But the thing I always say is it is America, and part of America is giving people the right to make terrible decisions. And I just feel like I look up and I just see guys making a lot of terrible decisions. And I get, like, going to where you can get the money. I am inclined to believe that these are people who are 18 to 22. So you give them $50,000, you give them $500,000. At the end of the year, they're still going to be sitting on zero. Like, they're all going to be sitting on zero. I don't feel like they're making responsible decisions with the money. You're a kid. I don't blame you for not making these responsible decisions with the money. The money has also gotten to places I didn't think it would, because at first people were not getting a lot of money. Like, on average, we did something on Game Theory on HBO about this. On average, kids are getting like $1,000 a person. There's a lot of dudes out here that are securing a lot of money in these deals, but I'm looking at this transfer and these guys are doing, and if you ain't getting playing time where you at, the only way to get playing time somewhere else, in theory, is to go down, right? Like, you're having to go to a lesser place. And so I'll use Quinn Ewers as an example, right? Now, this is an example from years before, but I think it fits explaining what my concern is with a lot of these guys who are transferring. He graduated early so he could go get that money in Ohio because Texas hadn't passed its NIL legislation. He got up there, he got beat out by C.J. Stroud, and then he came back to Texas, where he is now. Okay. If he stays at Ohio State and sits behind Stroud for one more year, you know what he would have been doing last year? Throwing the ball to Marvin Harrison. And you know what he'd be doing right now? Trying on his suit for the NFL draft. Instead, he's back at Texas, right? He's coming back again to play. What did you really get out of doing this? You were probably at the best place. Now, granted, we've seen some mixed results on Ohio State quarterbacks, but that was probably the best place for him to be. And so for most of these guys, I'm looking at them like, you're going to become, this isn't basketball. Like, you're going to be a junior or a senior in these programs. You're going to get reps even if you don't start as a junior, you're probably going to get reps. If you can't beat out a freshman as a senior, you probably don't have any business playing this game whatsoever. So where are you going? The long-term money for you is in staying in one of these places and living on scholarship for the rest of your life, right? I imagine there's guys in Norman and in Stillwater. They may not even been good, but they just around because they made friends with the right people the whole time. They'll always be able to get a job. It's a car dealership right down there. You walk in, you ain't never going to have to wait for no table. Everybody's always like, that to me is the best play. But I don't think, and I am you know me, I'm a players' rights advocate if anybody ever was. They made a mistake by letting these guys transfer and play immediately. If you want to leave so bad that you're willing to sit out a year, then you should. But that's a regulation that I don't think it's helping anybody, allowing these guys to go play right away. I just don't think, I don't see the benefit. I don't get it. And it's chaos. It's not a chaos that they should stop, though. This is what they deserve. This is what they earn. This is what happens when guys can actually make money and you don't have a real setup for what you want to do with them because you're so afraid to call them employees because then you got to pay taxes. This is what you get.
And then you kicking it down the road in a way that's just not healthy, right? Like, that's the part that gets to me. Like, I'm for a new governing body. We can do away with the NCAA. It has outlived its purpose for me, right? As soon as they severed the division in 1978, I think it outlived its purpose. As soon as Oklahoma and Georgia decided to sue, it outlived its purpose. As soon as we got to college football America making these deals going, hey, if Nebraska, Texas, Oklahoma decide to play in the same conference, we could all make a lot of money, right? It was outdated. But you make a really great point about Quinn Ewers, because I'm thinking, what an indictment of Cal McCord, who transferred to Syracuse after throwing passes to Marvin Harrison Jr.
Right. Yo, they're like, hey, they gave up on the idea that he could go down, pick himself up by his bootstraps and get better. Like, that's what's so wild to me. A season like that for a guy like that at that school is supposed to be, now you go and grind and get better. Like, let me ask you this. Does Vince Young come back to Texas? Like, let's say his 04 kept going, like, not great, right? Are we sure he would have come back to Texas in 05, or would he been looking to go somewhere else?
He looking to go somewhere else. I don't think he would come back. Why?
Yeah. Right.
What?
Right. They would have gave Perilou the bag, right? They'd have done whatever it took to give Perilou that money and got him there. And what does the Vince Young story become?
But hey, look, not you mentioned, man, right, Perilou. What a thought there. All right. Before I let you go, let me ask you this, because we talk about the money and whatnot. When you saw what Kayshon Boutte was spending on himself to gamble, and you looked at what he spent, what he made, and what was in the bank account, what was your thought?
What a time. That was my thought. My thought was, what a time. Because, the NBA has this issue now with Jonte Porter. Mm-hmm. And it seems that he had been a reckless gambler. This dude, what was it, like 9,000 bets that Boutte had put down?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And by the way, he sure was underperforming. Remember that?
He bet on himself and lost.
Yeah, it sounded like that boy had some things on his mind. He was under a lot of pressure trying to make it happen. And dog, this is just what it's going to be, man. Like these kids are stupid. It is not because they football players, it's because they kids. They stupid. They're going to do stupid things and think that they can get away with stupid things. And this stuff, look, I've made the comparison to cocaine and people don't like it, but the bottom line is, and this is important, you don't know how that first hit going to make you feel. And these guys going to get in here and get that hit, and that hit going to hit. And then what? They're going to keep going back, because that's how things go.
Hey, man, ain't no pass through. You just go do what you want to do. But to your point, like, hey, you deserve the right to be stupid. You want to be stupid, you go be stupid. Bomani Jones.
But let me say this right fast, though. You're right this about the NCAA when it comes to outliving its purpose. And if they not here to crack kids' heads for getting paid, what do they do?
Well, I mean, and you're fighting your own members now, because their members are getting the attorney general involved and going, hey, we don't want you to enforce this on us, but they're your rules. Like they're your rules.
Y'all are the NCAA.
That's the reason. You gotta tear this up. You got to make something else, and you better make it in a hurry, because Austin versus NCAA is going to get to a decision, and you might owe these kids, these adults, these grown-ass men a whole lot of money in damages. Look,
and look, they're going to try to shut this down, and I don't know what the hell they're going to do. Like, what happens, and this is a serious question, what in the world happens if college football goes out of business?
Can college football go out of business? Can it?
It can, just because they're so used to spending as much as they make, right? Okay. And they're doing it on purpose,
right?
To be clear.
Right.
But how do they keep all these economies that surround this? How do they keep this up? All these bonds they're going to have to pay out on these stadiums that they built that are very soon not going to be able to hold all the people that they built all these additions for and everything else. A lot of these bills are going to come due, and the revenue is not forever, right? So, like, where do we go from here? This is, it's chaos, man.
We getting into your bag, right? As an economics professor and whatnot, because I'm not there just yet. But I can tell you this: somebody's gonna find a way to make sure that SMU can beat Texas A&M. That's
I can't wait to see what happens with them. Nobody wants it better than SMU. Nobody wants it better than SMU.
Look here. Go be Southern Methodist, right? Stay out of my way. Stay out. Take Dallas off your jersey, because that's the Cowboys. No matter what you. I need to get you up out of here before you go in on Dallas right now. I just brought him up.
Oh yeah. You're right. You don't need me to keep going on this one. You don't need that. The audacity of somebody at Highland Park putting Dallas on the jerseys. Good gracious.
Hey, look, Bomani Jones hosts The Right Time, Wave Sports and Entertainment Podcast. Subscribe to it on the YouTubes, whatnot, because, I'm watching it. It's a great show. It's been a great show for years. Bomani's one of the legends in this game. I didn't want to take a whole lot of time saying that, but rest assured, I'm going to get to it in the intro, Bo. Thanks so much for doing this.
Hey, I'm proud of you, man. Keep it rolling. You doing it, dog. That fresh-ass sweater.
If you like what you've seen, consider subscribing to the #1 college football show on YouTube, the Fox Sports app, or wherever you get your podcast.